I thought that I was incorrect.
Yeah. So see, for 165 users, where is a value we have? We need we
Uh,
cannot go for a 128 now. We need 8 host bits, right?
yes.
So the the last octet we have 8 bits, right? This is
Correct.
8 bits. So all the 8 bits would be host bits. So what we saw in the previous classes, all ones it is network, all
Yes.
zeros it is host, right? So
Yes.
this is all ones we do 255.
Yes.
Second octet all ones we do 255. Third octet
True.
all ones we do 255. Fourth octet we all 8 bits we want a host bit. So it would be 0. 0 indicates a
Okay.
host bits, 1 indicates a network bit.
So for all eight, we have mentioned it as a zero. Fine. Okay, fine. And
Correct.
I did 255 for that all 8 bits. Fine.
Okay. What about
Okay.
340? Tell me now.
No, I didn't done that because I thought that I'm doing it wrong.
Okay. Okay,
Uh,
you do all this
okay,
today,
fine. Just
right?
give me 5 minutes. I will do it
No,
all.
no, 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 no. You can do it after class. We cannot waste this time.
Okay, fine then.
Yeah, yeah. 1 minute. So this you should do it today after class. And if you have any doubts, you can discuss with me tomorrow.
Yes, yes, yes. No, I'm clear now. I got it now.
Okay. See, from today, if anyone joins or doesn't join, class will happen 9, 9, 9, 10, 9:15. If you miss, you can go through a recording.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. Okay, then. 1 minute. Now we understood how to do a subnetting. Now the next part is how to get 1 minute. Now we received new, we got to know converting host bits into network bits, right? Next, we need to learn how to find network address, how to find broadcast address, how to find valid host in subnet. Okay. Now first, let's see. We'll take a small example. Suppose in our previous discussion, what we did for 64 users, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let me take it class C. Class C, what is a what is a private address? 192.168.0.0. Default subnet mask we take 24 for class C, right? Sorry. Default subnet mask.
255 dot.
Yeah. 1 minute. 255.255.255.0, right? So
Yes.
by default, how many hosts we are getting in class C?
8 bits.
8 bits. So how many hosts it would be?
Uh,
How many addresses? If you get all 8 bits, how many addresses it would be?
8.
See, 8 bits is okay. 8 bit means how many addresses? If you calculate all of this,
Okay, fine. In binary. 8 bits, that means 256.
256, right?
Yes.
0 to 254, 255. It would be 256 addresses.
Yes.
Okay. But what is our requirement now? See, first we'll
Six.
say how we'll do. What is a network address if you don't do any changes? By default, if you don't do any changes, what is the first
Hmm.
address? That
Dot.
will call a network address. So if you see this, whenever you see all ones, write as it is. The first three octet is all ones, right? So write as it is 192.168.0. Now the last octet is 0. 0 means it is a host entries, right? So in this 0, it is all ones. If you see 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0, right? So we call it a 0 now. That means it will be 0. 0 is a network address our. Now what is a broadcast address? Broadcast, you usually the last address. If you come by 0, then you do 1 2, sorry, this is 0, then 1 2 3 till 255. When it will be 255, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, it will be all ones, right? This is our last address in this particular subnet, correct? If you receive all ones, there is nothing next to this for this particular fourth octet. See, we are doing subnetting on fourth octet only, and we are trying to find out network address and broadcast address for this particular subnet only. We don't need to think for any other subnet as of now. Think for this subnet only now. Okay. What is the last address for this particular now? 192.168.0.255. Correct? Because there is no 256 number available. No machine will take, or even 255 cannot be taken by any machine, or 0 will not be taken by any machine. Right? This network address and broadcast address is just addresses available for different purposes. Okay. Now it comes a what is a valid host. Valid host are the addresses given to any machine, and this
So
will
it
be
will be between the network address and broadcast address.
correct between network address and a broadcast address. Whatever address is available address is a valid host. Okay. So what is a valid host now? From 1 to 254. These are the valid host we have. Okay. So the valid host we call it 192.168.0.1, 192.168.0.254. Okay. These are the valid host we have. Valid addresses we can call it. Clear? How to find network address, broadcast address, and valid host?
Yes.
Now let us find for class C. We already found. Class B will find. Then we'll go for our requirement. Suppose this was very simple, so we can do it. Let's see for class B now. I will not create any users or anything. We'll say for default addresses how much it would be. The default for a class B address is 172.16.0.0, 172, sorry, the default subnet mask is 1 minute here. The default mask,
255.255.0.0.
okay. Now again we'll write a binary table. Correct. If all zeros, whatever it is, all ones, we don't need to worry. Just write as it is, 172.16. See, I am writing because first octet it is all ones. This will indicate first octet. This will indicate second octet, right? So first octet you copy as it is. Second octet again you copy as it is. Now we need to understand from third octet. Third octet it would be all zeros because it is 0, right? 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0. The number will come 0. Write 0 here. Again fourth octet. Fourth octet again it would be 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 because it is 0, right? So it would be 0 here. Now this is our network address. Now we need to find out a broadcast address. Broadcast address will come again, first two octet is same. Here instead of 0 it will come all 1, right? It would be 255. If you do all ones it would be 255. Then here instead of 0 it will again come all ones 255. In between this, what is the valid addresses we have now? So here the valid addresses will be different. It would, the calculation is not different, but how you write it would be different. Now the valid addresses will be 172.16 0.1 0.2 till 0.254. Then again it will come like 1.0. This is also a valid host. This is not a network address, okay? Because anything comes from 0.0 to 255.255, that would be valid host. Again it will go like 1.254 till 1.254, 1.255 also, then 2.0.
Mandra, I have one question.
Hmm.
The one 172.16.0.1. I did understand that, but how these addresses will come 172.16.1.0?
Yeah, yeah.
Because
See, here the host bits are 2 bits now, right?
okay, fine, fine. Yes, I
Correct?
got it now.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it will come 1.0, then 2.0, 2.255, 3.0, then 3.255,
So
4.0,
whatever will the host
4.255.
bit,
Sorry?
sorry, whatever will be the host bit, still that we have to consider that.
Correct.
Uh,
Correct.
yes, I got it.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. So now let's see. This is example how it would be. It will continue till 255.255 number comes. Okay. Even 254.255 it is a host entry, valid host. Okay. Only 255.255 will be ending address, ending or last address. So we call it a broadcast address. Okay. And what is the use of a broadcast address and all we already discussed in our first classes. Okay. Now let me delete all this. Oh, yeah.
We will be using only class A, B, and C.
Correct. We
And
never use any other class.
I have seen using B and C classes, but A classes is are using we are using it less. Why?
See, usually no company required that 10 dot series network because it is having a more addresses, right? Class A is having more addresses compared to class B and class C. We don't need this many addresses in our day-to-day life. Okay. So usually
Okay.
company prefer to use a class C or class B only based on our requirement. How many hosts we need, based on that they do. Now let's see one example how to find, if suppose now we understood how to find addresses if we have like default subnet mask. Now if suppose we are converting host bits into network bits, based on our requirement. The requirement is 64 users now. The class C we will do. Correct? The default address is 192.168.0.0 and the default mask is 255.255.255.0. With this, how many hosts we are getting? 254, 255, 256 hosts we are getting, right? 256 addresses.
256,
But our
yes.
requirement is 64 addresses only. For 64 addresses, what is the we need? 2 power 6 we should not take exact number, we should take higher number. Okay? Because see, this is a valid host requirement. You know, first network address and last broadcast address. This is not a valid host and it cannot be given to any machines. So always the formula is 2 power n minus 2. Okay, suppose our requirement is 64, 2 power 64 minus 2, right? 1 minute. Our requirement is 64, so 2 power 6. If we take 2 power 6 minus 2, we will get how much? 64 minus 2. We are getting 62 addresses only, right? You got my point?
Oh, yes, yes, I got it.
So we should not take a exact requirement. We should take a higher number only. Suppose your requirement is 60, then you can take 2 power 6. But your requirement is 64, you should not take this address. You should take the above number. Okay. Yeah. So 1 minute. Hold on. Yeah. So we will take 2 power 7 here as per our requirement. Now let's write down our binary table again. 128, 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1. Now, as per now, if you don't do any subnetting, this is all ones, right? So we'll write as it is 192. This is again second octet all ones. Please correct me if you have any questions. Third octet again
Yes,
it is
yes,
third octet it is all one. So again we are writing all ones. Okay.
yes.
Fourth octet as of now it is all zeros. But we don't need all zeros. How many bits we need? Our requirement is 7 host bits. So
60.
this bit we are converting into a network and this would be our host bits, right? This
Oh,
would be
from where you, okay, fine, huh? 2 to the power 7, huh?
host,
Fine.
host, 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 right? So
Yes,
this
yes.
would be our host bit, this would be our network bit. So we would need only one network bit. So the subnet mask will change now 128, right? So here it is now fourth octet, it is converting some bits are network bits, some bits are host bits. So the subnet mask now changed 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 128 now, right? Correct? If we have this type of subnet mask, now what is this? 128 will come here first octet. So before 128, how many numbers we have? 127, right?
Okay, yes, 0 to
0 to
1.
127. So now 0 to 127 is our address. So the first address would be network address here, but the broadcast address 0. Previously it was coming 255, right? But now it will come 127 because 127 is the last address, right? Is it clear?
I have one question, just a doubt. When you say the default address and you mentioned that 192.168.0.0, is that class C default address? or you take it just as example?
No, it can be 0.0 or 1.0 or 2.0, anything. I took one example of class B private addresses.
No, no, I'm mentioning the 192.168,
This one,
the
right?
network bits. Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. So no, no, this is not the default mask is a default mask. The
Oh,
address
yeah,
can be anything.
I got it, but you also mention it as a default address, therefore I'm asking that.
No, no, no. You can take 1.0, 2.0, anything. It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
okay, I
Okay.
got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. So if we do subnetting, now see previously without subnetting, how many hosts we were getting? 256. But our requirement was 64. So instead of taking all the addresses, what we have done, we have taken 128 addresses only. When you take 128 addresses, your network address will change, your broadcast address will change, your valid host will also change now, right? So what is the formula for network address? The first address in this particular subnet would be the network address, and the last address in that particular subnet is a broadcast address. The first address anyhow we got to know, the broadcast address now we have done this, right? 192.168.0.127 is the last address. So this is our broadcast address. The valid host would be 0.1 to 0.126. Clear?
yes, clear. I'm just
Now
writing it
this is
down.
this is first address in this particular
Yes,
class. First subnet or first address you can say. If we continue, now see, this is we received now. Now I need to know second address of this particular range only. We already used 0.0 to 0.127. Now again our requirement is 64 now again. So now we cannot use this address, right?
yes,
192.168. I don't want to waste a 0 dot series, but I want to use all that particular things. So let me see, 255.255.255.128. Now already I used 0 to 127 addresses. What would be my next address? 128 is available now, right? So
yes.
128 would be my next address. Now if you add 128 to plus 120, see our range is now 128 addresses we have. So 0 to 127, it is 128 numbers we used in first address. Now the second range again, it should be 128 addresses. The first one I use 128. Now let me add 128 to 128.
It
128
will,
plus 128. It would be 256. But we cannot add 256. So the last number would be 255. Right?
yes.
192.168 0.255. This would be our broadcast address. This would be our network address now. So our valid host in this particular second address would be 192.168 0.129 to 1, sorry, 254. This is our valid host.
250. Yes.
Okay, is it clear?
Yes. Okay. After 128, we are
Now
considering.
no, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, 1 minute, I'll explain you again. 1 minute, hold on, I'll come back.
Okay. 192.168.0 dot 250.
Okay, so our requirement was 64 users, but we cannot get 64 users, so we took 128 users. When you take 128 users, the default range you had was 256 users. Now you need to divide this 256. 256 minus 128 you need to do. Suppose
Okay.
you got 128 users, but
Yes.
now you are wasting again remaining 128 users you are wasting, right?
Yes.
So you need to use that also. So what we did, first whatever was our requirement we took 0.02 127, we took these numbers, correct? This
Okay.
was our first address. Now
Yes.
whenever you need a new address for your new requirement, you always need to take from 128 to 254 255. This is your new address you have in a store or something. You can say that it is available as of now. So you can use this address whenever you want. Suppose this was given to one department now. Okay. Now in future you got another department. For that department you need again 100 users you need. Correct? For that you can use this particular address. It will also have 128 users.
Yes.
Correct? So now see, there was one address 192.168.0.0. The subnet mask was 255.255.255.0. This was our default subnet, but what we did, we don't want to use this. If you don't do subnetting, this was the only subnet you need to use for one department. And in this, you have 256 users. You are wasting 128 users, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, what we did, as per our requirement, we divide this into two parts now. Okay. Instead of 256, we want only one department should have 128 users, another department should have 128 users.
128.
Okay. So for this again you need to write new subnet mask. So for 128 users, new subnet mask is 255.255.255.128. Why it came 128? Because of 7 bits. It is not like if you want 128 users, subnet mask will be 128. It is not like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, based on our requirement, the 2 power table says 2 power 7. Correct.
Correct.
So we got 128. Now the new address would be 192.168.0.0 to 127. Okay. The next address would be 168.0.128 to
128.
0.255. Right.
Okay.
Here 0.127. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, it is clear now. So whatever the left IPs from the first department, we are all using for the second department so that the no
We
IP
can
should.
use, yeah, yeah, based on our requirement. It
Okay.
will the second address again we can do subdivision based on our
Mm-hmm.
requirement. See, now
Okay.
department 1 we had 64 users requirement, so we used 128 users. Now
Mm-hmm.
suppose if you get new department, you don't need 64 users, you only need 30 users. Again you
Mm-hmm.
can subdivide this into different numbers. We'll come to
And
that
what
part again.
and what if we require more host? Then what we will do?
Then we need to take different address. You cannot take 0 dot now. Suppose
Okay.
second department you need 200 users. Now 0 dot
Hmm.
is already used. You cannot take. You need to take 1.0, 2.0 something.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Now let's see. Now one more thing. Okay. That's okay for I think too much for today. I'll say one thing to you. See, today
Mm-hmm.
you find out. I'll give couple of addresses.
Yes. Yes. Please.
You find out what is a network address, what is a broadcast address.
Okay.
Class C. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
192.168.10.0. The subnet mask is 255.255.0. You find out what is a network address, what is a valid host, what is a broadcast address. Okay. For this
Okay.
1 minute, there are couple of things. Then class C only 192.168.0.0. The subnet mask is 255.255.255.192. Okay, this is a subnet mask now we have. Again, what is a network address, broadcast address, and valid host. Okay. Then class B 172.16.0.0. Default mask. What is a network address, broadcast address, valid host. Again in this 172.16.0.0 default mask. Okay, this I need a network address, broadcast address, valid host. Again in the same address, if I change 255.255.255.128, what would be network address, valid host, broadcast address? Okay, you find all these things. If you want, you take a photos,
No,
then we'll.
I'm just writing it down.
Okay, so we'll continue tomorrow. See,
So you have not given how much host we require.
no, we
I
don't. That we'll do it later. You just find
Okay,
out what is the network address and broadcast address and valid host for this host,
okay,
this
okay,
subnets. Okay, fine.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Anything you need or you took numbers?
I just want to take a photo of that classy where you have.
Okay, done, right?
Mm, yes, 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 yes,
Okay,
yes. Just allow me a moment.
okay.